Hello and welcome. My name is Julia, and I am looking for some people to help with clearing emotions from their body and different blocks. Sorry, I'm feeling a little fidgety right now because making videos isn't something that I'm that comfortable with, but I'm working on it, and I know that the more I do it, the more comfortable I will feel. So, emotions are actually a huge passion of mine. And ever since I first had my big emotional release back like 5 years ago, I think it was 2014, so 6 years ago, 6 or 7. Anyway, it just like completely opened my mind to what emotions were. And it propelled me forward into just learning as much as I possibly could about different emotions and traumas and how emotions get locked into the body. Speaking from personal experience, I've recognized just how much I was repressing my own emotions, even though I, on some level, thought that I just didn't have emotions or that, like, I just didn't feel things in the same way that other people did. I really loved watching like scary movies, and if people were crying during movies, I just like didn't understand it, wasn't feeling sad. But then I just had this like awakening, and I wanted to learn as much as I possibly could about how emotions actually get stored in the body because, like I said, from my own experiences, I had repressed so many of my own emotions. And so the more that I dove into this journey and started to experience and learn and figure out what these blocked emotions actually do in the body, the more and more passionate I became about releasing them, finding them, and connecting with the emotions that I didn't know that I actually had. And since that time, I've been working with a number of different people and acquiring as much information and practicing in as many different ways as I can to find the best ways to actually release these blocked emotions and repressed emotions from our body. A lot of the time when I express this work to people and just share how passionate I am about it, I'm sort of met with these like blank stares, and people just don't understand like why would I want to like talk about these emotions, or why would I even want to unblock them from my body? Because in a lot of ways it can be a sort of painful experience just diving into that darkness and like bringing up those old wounds. Like that's not something that people are often interested in doing. However, the people that I have met, those deep divers who want to do that shadow work, who are those like fierce warriors who are ready to enlighten themselves, feel liberated, and feel more free in their own bodies, who have done this emotional work, I've noticed that the more I encounter these people, the more I see how much progress they're able to make in their lives. They're able to raise their own self worth and their own value, and they're able to dream bigger and strive for things that they didn't previously think that they could do because they were so weighed down and so heavy. I remember from my own experiences that I would sometimes wake up just feeling completely depressed and not wanting to really do much of anything with my life, and didn't really understand that that was because I had these repressed emotions, and like just that I was having all these beliefs that were telling me that I'm not enough, I'm not enough. And the more I started to question that, the more I allowed these beliefs and these emotions to come to the surface so that I could release them, so that I could then take those bigger steps and take those bigger actions towards the things that I really want in my life, which in the grand scheme of things has been more beneficial for me and more beneficial for the people that I've now been serving and helping as a result of this work. I've recognized in a lot of ways how damaging these repressed emotions can be on the body. I've seen people with chronic, unexplained physical pain or emotional pain that they just think that they are stuck with for the rest of their life. But a lot of the research that I've done and that things that I have learned are actually pointing towards this chronic pain being repressed emotions. I know that there are probably some people out there that feel a little skeptical about this and that are maybe curious to learn more, or maybe even a little fearful of actually diving into those wounds and figuring out for themselves, like, is this pain that I've been feeling, this neck pain, this back pain, this weight, this heaviness, this depression, like, is this actually just a trauma that I have unprocessed? And from my research and what I've learned, and from my own experiences, and from those that I've helped, I would choose to believe that that is the case, and that there is light on the other side, and that there is a possibility of health and releasing that dis-ease and achieving and feeling that greater growth. This work for me has a lot to do with forgiveness as well, and just really diving in, and not just forgiving like other people, but forgiving ourselves for falling into this victim mentality of thinking that we don't have what it takes to overcome this obstacle that we're facing in our lives. But I've also recognized that the people I've encountered who do face these challenges and decide for themselves that they are going to overcome it, overcome that victim mentality, that they are then able to use that power to help other people as well. What's that expression that they say, that your greatest obstacle or darkness becomes your greatest strength in life? And once you've overcome that, then you then have the power to help not just yourself continue to grow in those areas, but to help other people as well. Doing this emotional work has allowed me to unlock my own hidden desires that I kept telling myself I couldn't do because I had all these fears and this heaviness around what it was I actually wanted. Speaking in public and even just making this video was something that I was completely like petrified of and had tried to do on several different occasions, but just felt very afraid to do so. And it wasn't until I started to dive into that deeper reason and meaning and what that belief was that I may have created at one time, that I was then able to step out of that shell. If you're a person who notices that you manifest the same situations, the same painful situations over and over and over again, and you can't figure out why, it may be because of repressed emotions. In my life, I have, as I've said, studied a number of different ways to unlock these hidden emotions. I studied psychology for about 4 years, and this is when I first found out that I had an interest in this field. But then I started to just go a little bit further into the more spiritual side of things. And I started to study EFT, which is emotional freedom technique, where you tap on certain points of your body. And I was just able to learn a little bit more about where certain emotions are actually created in the body and how they can be stored in different areas of the body. I started to study radical forgiveness, which again talks more to those situations that are just continually created in your life. And it helped me recognize how to forgive people on a deeper level and how to just really let go and surrender to those situations that may have been painful. I've practiced and studied different coaching techniques and just helping people really express those emotions that they feel like they can't. You know, in my own life, I've gone through these phases of feeling like there's no one I can talk to, or that this thing that I'm holding on to is just too painful and too deep that I can't actually share that with another human. But the more that I've leaned into that edge, the lighter I've felt and the more at peace and at home I've felt in my own body. And I love seeing people go through that journey for themselves and experiencing that lightness that really comes with accepting yourself wholly and fully, regardless of anything that's happened in the past, either in your life or someone else's life. One of the other techniques that has proven to be very effective for me is something that I learned from a book called The Emotion Code. So with this technique, there's a number of different ways that you can do it, but I like to use dowsing, using my pendulum, as a way of asking my body what emotions might be stored in my body. So say, for example, when I notice myself either getting very triggered by something or having like an unexplained pain in my body, using this technique, it allows me to connect with my body on a deeper level and just really ask like my higher self or my inner child or that deeper sort of universal version of me, like spirit, so to speak, what it is that might be going on, if there is a trapped emotion, and what that emotion actually is. Now, this is something that I've done a number of times with myself. I've practiced it a few times with animals as well, and I've convinced my partner to be a bit of a guinea pig for me as well. But this is something that I would love to do more regularly and just really receive some feedback as to what the experiences are that other people have from this when they receive this work. And so I would love to ask anyone who is willing to be a guinea pig to do some of this deep diving and who is ready to release some of that deeper pain that they might be experiencing to send me a message, give me like a private message. And I would love to have a private session with you and do this technique that I learned from the emotion code. And in exchange, I would love to receive any kind of a donation or even just a testimonial for the experience that you had. I do like to do this work based on like the gift culture. And I know that on a deeper sense, what you're willing to give out and what you're willing to put out will come back to you. And what I've experienced is that those who are willing to make those donations or actually do something that's a little bit edgy or fearful for them, that they are then opening up their hearts to receive that deeper love and guidance and healing that they are actually looking for. So I'm willing to do this with a few people just for a testimonial, but other than that, I would definitely love to receive some donations for this work because I do know how powerful it is. So if you're curious or have any questions, please send me your comments or questions below. And let's just have a conversation. I'd love to connect with you and just hear a little bit more about your story, what it is that you're working through right now, and why it is that you think I can help. And then we can, from that point, book a session to really dive further into the emotional pain that is ready to be released within you. I'm really excited to practice this work because, like I've said, I can see how powerful and life-changing it can be for people. And it's always just exciting for me to encounter those people who are willing and ready to do this deeper work and experience that lightness that we've all come to this earth to experience. It's almost impossible on some level to experience that higher enlightenment or lightness unless we have suffered in some way or experienced some level of darkness. But it's really our willingness to go into that darkness that allows us to have those more blissful, more joyous, and happier feelings on a regular basis. And that's really why I think I'm here, to just help people in that transition, to offer a safe space for people to feel as though they can go into those emotions that they're experiencing and help them just see what is possible when they come out on the other side. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for your interest in this. And I would love to connect with you and learn more. For those of you who are really interested in this topic, I'll have another podcast coming out soon. I have a channel on YouTube. It's called The Confessional. So it talks about different experiences in my life that I have encountered or things that I'm interested in that are sort of taboo in today's society, and that we aren't always told that it's okay for us to talk about these things. So this channel is dedicated to completely giving people the space to just be themselves, be their authentic selves, and really talk about what is real and raw within them. So again, thank you so much for watching this video, for your interest, and for your willingness to dive deep. I look forward to seeing you and connecting with you on a deeper level. Much love, and I hope you have a wonderful day.